welcome back. I am super excited to finally be not only making this video, but knowing this video is going to be released very soon. Because I have been working on a little project that has been very like fun for me, very brain using for me. And so, some of you know by now, or if you don't know, I am a huge NFL fan. And so one of my passions has always been talking to people, understanding things, and trying to make more sense of things that maybe I don't understand. And able to like kind of put all of my things together about a month ago. I thought it would be super cool to like just talk to different fans and to understand like what they were excited for and to talk to them about their teams. And it was just an idea. And so I talked to a couple of people about my idea and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to go through with it. And then that was my knee popping, if you heard that. And then I was like, you know what? What if I did this? What if I talked to 32 different fans from each of the 32 different NFL teams? Could I get 32 people to talk to me? Do I even know people that know people that know people that would allow me to do this? And what would be my purpose? And so I quickly decided my purpose would be just to understand more teams in the NFL. I don't know about you all, but I watch a ton of football during the NFL season. I actually watch every team at some point. My setup is immaculate. And so there's a lot of different ways that I'm able to watch all the football games. I'm not just a highlight football watcher. I actually sit down, watch the games, and try to make sense of what's going on. And so I decided to do this. And so what is going to happen is starting on Monday, as of this recording, this will probably release the Sunday before the Monday, but starting on Monday, you will start getting different videos every day, Monday through Thursday, of each of the 32 different teams. And so the way that I was going to release this was I was going to just randomly release it. And then I thought, why don't I do it by division? I thought it would be really cool to do it by division. And then I thought, what if I go in draft order? And then, so like after like brainstorming, thinking about it, talking to people, figuring out what I thought would make more sense, I decided to release division order. And so the funny thing about releasing in division order is I realized that in order to do that, I was going to have everybody's information that I interviewed, so I could attach it to the video and then start to move forward. So what I have done is figured out a way to release everything the way I want to structure this the way I want to. So what you're going to see is 32 different fans talking about their team. I was able to get some women. I was obviously able to get men. I was able to get people that have been fans forever, for people that have played, people that still work for their specific teams. I was able to get a different variation, a diverse slate of people in order to come and talk to me and talk about their team. So I'm super excited about this. I'm super excited for it to release. And for those of you that have helped me with this project, that haven't said anything, that have kept it quiet, and that have like allowed me to like figure out how I was going to do this, thank you. To those of you that are a part of this experiment, thank you. For those of you that I didn't know, that I now have been able to get to know now that we've had the recording and that we've spent some time together, I appreciate you as well. Also, thank you to every single one of you that have like invited me into your spaces, that have invited me onto your YouTube channels, or have invited me to your Twitter spaces, or that have just invited me to different things. Thank you for those of you that have tweeted to help me get fans. Thank you for those of you that have just checked in on me and asked me where I was going, how it was going, if I was going to be able to release. I appreciate you. And for everybody that I have annoyed for this really 2 weeks that I've been working on this, thank you for letting me annoy you. Thank you for helping me with titling, what I'm going to call this, what I'm going to do. Thank you for even just coming and speaking to me, because a lot of people didn't know me, and they still decided to come and talk to me. And I just appreciate that. So this is my brainchild. This idea started in my brain, and I thought, why not? I have a fascination with fans. It's interesting to me to understand different ways people are fans, different reasons why people are fans. And so this was super fun for me to do. And it was fun for me to just be able to talk to people that I don't know and people that I do know, and just really like to build this and to make this my own. So it will start releasing tomorrow. I didn't know at first who I was going to release. I believe who is going to be released first is going to be the NFC North. And so the Vikings, the Bears, the Lions, and the Packers are going to be the first 4 teams that release for the first week. I am excited for their release, and I'll make another video and talk about why and things like that. However, I just wanted to take a minute and play some clips so that you all can kind of see what I'm talking about. Did this all on StreamYard. I want to be honest with you. The first person I interviewed told me that I should get like a background and and I should do this and I should do that, because some people I interviewed have their own YouTube channels. And so I just want to give a shout out to Bill's Mafia, because he helped me to really figure out how it could look good and how to make things pop when I started. And so I'm forever grateful for him for that. And so you will see my interview with him, obviously, when I do the AFC East. His name's not Bill's Mafia, but I'm just saying that because I feel like every fan represents their team. So I'm just going to give the whole team a shout out. I also want to mention a couple of things. As you all know, I've been trying to use different audio, different settings, different things, different lighting, different this, different that. I will be honest and say you will hear some of my recording sound deficiencies as I go through this process. There are some things that I messed up on that I didn't even think about. My camera died in the middle, or my laptop decided to die for a couple of days. And so I didn't have, my first computer. I had to transition to my second computer. We've had reschedules, cancels. I had people lined up and then somebody else came in and interviewed. And so I had to tell that person thanks, but no thanks. So there has been so many different things I've had going on over the past couple of weeks. And I'm super excited that it's finally come together and that it finally makes sense for me and that I'm able to like do the thumbnails and release the videos and release clips and things like that. So I'm super excited for you all to see a couple of clips. I will insert them here.
But what did he do? He decided to get the best offensive lineman in the draft to protect Herbert. Now, right. Herbert in the last few years has not had an offensive line. He has been the guy, and he has had to work 10 times harder, I feel, than a lot of other folks to make plays, to extend drives. He was one of the most sacked quarterbacks, or they had a lot more QB pressures. I'm sorry, I believe it was most QB pressures, but least sacks, that ratio somewhere around there, where, you know, he's just trying to extend play.
With Saquon heading over. But who else? How do you feel like you all did in free agency? Was there any moves that you loved, any moves that you hated, anybody that you were kind of sad to see go? What are your thoughts about free agency?
I think we did really good in free agency. We obviously got Saquon Barkley. We had to let DeAndre Swift walk, which was tough because DeAndre Swift is from the area, but Saquon Barkley is a hometown guy as well. He's from the area as well. So, you know, we lost one hometown guy, but we're getting one back. Okay. Obviously needed a big spark to the running back room, and Saquon just so much more versatile than DeAndre Swift. But we also added CJ Gardner-Johnson, who was with the team for one season when we went on our Super Bowl.
What's your biggest concern heading into the season? Like, what is something that you are worried about as a Browns fan where you're kind of thinking, I don't know.
Just health. I mean, last season was an injury filled, like literally 4 different quarterbacks started for the Cleveland. So the fact that we were contending and all these other teams, like I'm like, people, Washington, I have to talk to Washington, Dallas fans, Giants fans, Eagles fans in my area because I'm in DC. To say that, you know, that you're rebuilding you've had 30 quarterbacks in the last 20, 30 years. You look at other teams, they've had, you know, 1 or 2.
But what are you looking forward to this season, and what's your biggest concern heading into the season?
So I'm looking forward to everything this season. I want to see how this new team comes together, how they play well together.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to going to training camp in end of July, early August, practice. Some of my concerns, though, are probably the offensive tackle position. Because we picked up a couple, but I'm curious to see how they're going to protect Jayden Daniels' blind side, because we saw Sam Howell like a tackle dummy.
Yeah.
Like he was getting killed out there. So
hopefully
they maybe somehow pick up someone else down the line, or maybe the players that they picked up are good enough that can protect him well enough that he won't get any injury. He'll keep his confidence throughout the season.
You want to do like YouTube? And I'm like, what? No. I told my wife, and my wife's like, yes. So I came back and said, yes, I want to do it. And I love it though. Now I just don't like the cameras. I really don't like being in front. I think there's a level of narcissism that can get driven through the camera. And I prefer, I want to be a writer. I always wanted to be a writer.
Okay.
Or a comic book artist. But my wife told me I have to do it. I do enjoy it. It's better than what I was doing before. So I guess I got to do the narcissism thing. And I'm going to look at my ugly mug, my monkey mug, and say what I got to say.
And so using a top 10 pick, people are like, whoa, why would you use a top 10 pick on a guy that you may not play for 2 years? But I get their reason. Their reasoning is, listen, we get our QB of the future. If we end up being what we fully expect to be, which is competitive, potentially a Super Bowl team, whatever, by the time Kirk Cousins, they may be ready to move off Kirk Cousins or Kirk Cousins retires, they're going to need another quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And
they've already got him.
Know what the QB class is going to look like in 2 years or 3 years, depending on whatever that is. We have no idea what it's going to look like.
And everyone asks about, well, how do you like the Titans and you're in Austin? I'm like, well, I'm from Texas. So, it's okay to, and of course, there's still always controversy with the colors and the Oilers and the Oil Derrick and, all the fun things that I like to wear my Titans or Tennessee Oilers stuff just to really make people mad.
I'm not, and then I'm trying to figure out, do we still got McCole Hardman? We got to have him because he traded. Yeah, he signed a 2-year deal with the Jets. I think it was like 2 years, $12 million, if I'm not mistaken. So we don't have him anymore. I don't know. I'm not sure, but if we do got him, y'all got some problems because we got Hollywood Brown.
What is your biggest concern heading into this season?
No, that is
okay.
It's without a doubt. Without a doubt, Joe Burrow's health is the biggest concern of any Bengals fan. I don't care if you're in Cincinnati. I don't care if you're in Hawaii. Joe Burrow, they have to keep him upright and keep him healthy. That's it. If he's healthy, the Super Bowl Lombardi is in the horizon.
What do you love about DeMeco Ryans?
I like his energy. Like he'll whoop like a good play. He's all jumping around.
He does.
Being a former player, for our team, he's able to relate with them, and he's able to our old team, like our old players, they come and like see all his.
They do. You're right. Yeah. I mean, did you see just recently, JJ was like, I'm staying season ready. Like if he needs me. And I just thought like, that's amazing. Like that's what you want is that. Yeah. I like that for DeMeco.
I hope JJ does. That would be cool. Like we would have to be in like the Super Bowl or the conference game or something for that to.
So why are you going for a field goal there? You still got under 2 minutes. They're going to get the ball. You just said yourself, our defense can't stop. So they're going to go down, score, win the game. So why not go for it there? Get a first down, kill the clock, go for a touchdown, game over.
But that's
not.
No, Well,
so like shit like that.
Yeah, there's just things that just don't make sense.
And you're like, what does that have anything to do with today?
I mean, with the advances of technology and how people heal and training and everything else, you're pretty much gonna come back from anything. I've seen Peyton Manning come back from a major neck injury. The Colts didn't want to take a chance on bringing him back, and I don't think they could protect him. To be honest, I don't think we had the offensive line at that point to stand up and protect him. Forward, it was better off. Hey, we're gonna probably bring in somebody young. Let's go ahead and cut you and let you go flourish. He goes to Denver. He's healthy and he wins.
What were people surprised? So how did you feel? Like as a fan when that pick happened, were you like, okay, I expected that? Or were you like,
Yeah. I knew we were going to go after him. I knew we were going to get him. That's who I wanted all along. I didn't want Drake May. I didn't want Jaden Daniels. People call me crazy. People in the Vikings community, our fan base, they call me crazy.
How do you feel about your team playing international games? Do you love it? I feel like it throws off their rhythm and it just knocks everything off. And once they come back, I've seen teams really not be the same because it just knocks you off I don't love it. I get the NFL is going to do it. They don't care what I think, but I'm just curious to know like how you feel as a fan with it.
They come back. It's cool to, but then again, you got to watch the game at 9:00 in the morning, all of that. It kind of blows, but, as a fan, which I plan on going to this London game, I mean, it'd be fun for me, But you know what I'm saying? For them, I don't know. It all depends how they have it scheduled. Hopefully they have it scheduled to where they come from London and roll right into their bye.
But what do you want people to know about the Lions? Just like as a fan, what is y'all's thing? Is it One Pride?
One Pride.
That's so cool. Like the Lion Pride.
Yeah, One Pride. All grit. One Pride, all grit. Yeah. So
that just clicked. I love that.
Yeah, I love it too. They've been doing the One Pride thing probably since like 2016 or something like that.
I love that.
Yep. They just added a hashtag like all grit.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, how did you feel about losing Queen? How did you feel about losing Patrick Queen to the Steelers?
All right, so first of all, losing Queen was like, oh my God, my stomach hurt. And then losing him to the Steelers, like my stomach hurts because someone stabbed me, like literally stabbed me in the stomach. That's what that felt like. Like it was just like don't get me wrong, it was rumors around here like we wouldn't be able to keep Queen, and I just kept saying to myself, we're gonna figure out a way to keep Queen. But I mean, it was like when they say, "Oh, Queen's gone," he's gonna want money and different things, and it's like, but then it's like to the Steelers, like come on, like now we gotta go.
What about your team is concerning right now?
It's always going to be first. It's always going to be the secondary, and then the second is going to be right now. It's going to be that offensive line because they're getting older. So Williams is not going to be there forever.
Well, Trent.
At some point, you're going to see a decline in him, and then just the back end.
And so, as you can see, there's so many different variations. I will say that every single person that I talked to was asked the same questions. It was all pre-recorded, and I sent them the questions beforehand. The reason why that's cool is because as I was recording, I felt like these started to become more like conversations. Some conversations are extremely long. I have an interview that's 2 hours long, and some of these conversations are just short and to the point. But the whole point of this is understanding that we're all fans, we all love football, and so it was really cool to watch this all come together and just to be able to talk to different people. I do want to mention that one of the questions that I do ask every single guest that I have is what makes you a fan? And so I didn't think it would be fair of me to not actually give my fan story based on the fact that I'm asking people how their fandom started and different things like that. So I will give my story very quickly. I will be honest and say through some of the recordings, you will be able to hear bits and pieces of my story about my fandom, how I became a fan and things like that. But I just wanted to take a second and share how I became a Steelers fan, why I love the Steelers and things like that. So the short version is basically when I was a child, I grew up sitting on right next to my dad, watching everything that he did and being enamored by every single direction he went. So if he went to the kitchen, I was at the kitchen. If he did watch sports, I was sitting right next to him watching sports. And so I've been a sportsman my entire life. And so one of my earliest sports memories is I remember sitting on the couch. And I remember the TV being on football, and I remember a blue team and a yellow team. And people liked the blue team, and I decided I liked the yellow team. I didn't know at the time, but the yellow team was the Steelers and the blue team was the Cowboys. And so that started my fandom. Fast forward to high school, I was obsessed with Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird was yellow. The Steelers were yellow. And so I really just liked the yellow team. I didn't know who the Steelers were or what that really meant, but that's what I liked. The other thing that started to happen too is obviously the more I watched the NFL, I also started to gravitate towards college because it was still football and I could still watch. And so that's what I did. And so Casey Hampton was the first Casey Hampton was the first football player I was able to follow from college, one of my favorite my favorite college team, into the NFL. And at the time, I'm saying my favorite college team because at the time I liked watching UT play. And so that's what I did. And so I followed Casey Hampton to the Steelers. At the time he was at the Steelers, I was also older. And so I also began to understand like what the Steelers were all about, who their owners were, what they took pride in, what they cared about. I was able to also read Tony Dungy's book. And Tony Dungy also talked about the Steelers organization and how great they were and different things like that. So all of this to say, my fandom was born based off of a color. And also it was born based off one of my favorite players that went to the University of Texas, actually went to Pittsburgh. And so I was able to follow him. So that was the first time that I was able to connect the NFL to college. And so obviously if you take time to research Casey Hampton, or if you know who Casey Hampton is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The other thing Casey Hampton did for me that I didn't realize is he was a nose tackle, and he taught me what it means to play nose tackle. Obviously, I'm never going to play football, but he taught me what it means to play nose tackle and why his position was important, which in turn taught me why the offensive line mattered and how to really how to really play football as a team sport and not just knowing what a first down was, timeouts and things like that, a flag. And so that is what started my Steelers fandom. Obviously, as I got older, I fell in love with the team. I'm obsessed with the city of Pittsburgh. I always say if I could have a third, fourth home, I would definitely do it. I would definitely have a home in downtown Pittsburgh, or not really a home, a condo in downtown Pittsburgh. I'm not going to lie to you. I researched that way more than I would ever really admit. But yeah, so if I could have a condo in downtown Pittsburgh, I would, because I love Pittsburgh. Like, it's my city, it's my team. I love it. And so that is what makes me a fan. And so, as I mentioned before, you will hear so many stories about the different people that I talk to about why they're a fan, how they're a fan, and what that means for them. And I am super excited for you to hear their stories. Last thing I just want to say is I did not know what I was going to call this series. I went back and forth. I didn't know what my title was going to be. If you are watching this and you're the person that helped me with my title, kudos to you. You're brilliant. And so what I decided to call the series was NFL Fan Series. Like, woo, very strategic there. But each of my titles, I wanted to be very intentional to bring home what I was doing in the title, and to be able to give a shout out to the people that I was talking to. And so that is what I did. So this is going to be my NFL Fan Series. And I'm super excited to do this. And I just wanted to say again, thank you for everybody who's participating in this. Thank you for referring your friends. Thank you to my friend who allowed her son to talk to me about the Texans. I'm super excited about that. So just thank you all the way around. If you've had any impact or any conversation with me about this, even the people who told me no, even the people who told me they didn't have time, even the people that told me they didn't want to be a part of this, or even the people who still haven't gotten back to me that I reached out to, and all the people that I stalked on your socials and stuff like that. Thank you. Thank you for making this a thing. I feel like every no I got made me more determined to go get a yes. If you know anything about me, you know that anytime I hear no, it actually motivates me to turn around that no into a yes, because I'm stubborn. I'm a Gemini. Shout out to Gemini season. So thank you for that. I'm super excited for you to watch all these videos. Like I will always say, every video I have, I share your comments. The other thing is too, if somebody has a YouTube page, please go to their YouTube page and subscribe to them or find them on Twitter. Everyone has been super, super amazing in talking to me. Everyone has lended me their time and they've been with me every step of the way. So please show each of these individuals some love if you can. If I talk to somebody from your respective team, so go to their page, tell them I sent you there. And I am just super excited for this to finally release, because I have spent a ton of time doing it, but it's finally here. And I cannot wait for you to see it. So I will stop talking. Like I said, be on the lookout for the video to release tomorrow, because the way that I'm structuring this, I will release this on the Sunday before the Monday, and it will all get started. So if you have any thoughts, comments, or anything, any concerns, please let me know in my comments below. But if not, this will go on for 8 weeks. I will still do some other content that I usually do. However, this has been something that I'm working on. So I'm going to make sure that this releases Monday through Thursday. And if something pops off, of course, I will take the time to make a video and post it. But anyways, please enjoy this. This has been my little baby that I have birthed from brain to actual substance. So I'm super excited for you to see it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy learning about different teams in the NFL and how people became fans.